Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Bhava Girivaranari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Guru Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading today from Srimad-bhagavatam 8th Canto, Chapter 16, text number 23. And the chapter is called Execution of the Payo-vrata Process of Worship. And this is, we just chant the Sanskrit first. Adisha Twang Vija Shrestha Viding Tad Upadavanam Ashutushati Me Deva Siddhantya Sahaputrakai Adisha Twang Vija Shrestha Vidhing Tad Upadavanam Ashutushati Me Deva Siddhantya Sahaputrakai Adisha Twang Vijashreshta Vidding Tad Upadavanam Ashutushatsi Me Deva Siddhantya Sahaputrakai Adisha Twang Vijashreshta Vidding Tad Upadavanam Ashutushatsi Me Deva Siddhantya Sahaputrakai Adisha Twang Vijashreshta Vidding Tad Upadavanam Ashutushatsi Me Deva Siddhantya Sahaputrakai Adisha Twang Vijashreshta Upadavanam Ashutushatsi Me Deva Siddhantya Sahaputrakai Adisha Twang Vijashreshta Vidding Tad Upadavanam Ashutushatsi Me Deva Siddhantya Sahaputrakai. Word for word. Adisha, just instruct me. Tvam, O my husband. Dvijashreshta, O best of the Brahmanas. Vidim, the regulative principles. Tat, the Lord. Upadavanam, the process of worshipping. Ashu, very soon. Tushati, becomes satisfied. May, unto me. Devaha, the Lord. Siddhantya, now lamenting. Saha, with. Putrakai, all my sons, the demigods. This is Aditi speaking to Kashyapa Muni. O best of the Brahmanas, kindly instruct me in the perfect method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotional service, by which the Lord may very soon be pleased with me and save me, along with my sons, from this most dangerous condition. Actually, let's repeat it in English, and then we do that. We'll repeat it in English, and then we'll do the Russian also. O best of the Brahmanas, repeat. Kindly instruct me in the perfect method of worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in devotional service, by which the Lord may very soon be pleased with me and save me, along with my sons, from this most dangerous condition. This is Aditi. Yeah, this is Aditi still speaking with Kashyapa Muni, asking him to teach her about devotional service, so she can please the Supreme Lord, so that she can find a solution for the problem. And the problem, of course, is that she's the mother of all the demigods, most all the demigods, and they've all been kicked out of their, forced to leave their heavenly planets because the demons are there. So now she's trying to find a solution. Kashyapa Muni has already told her that no one can help except for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the way to please Him is through devotional service. And now she's asking that you please teach me that way of devotional service, so the Lord will help me. Got all that? Huh? I can read the purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes less intelligent men ask whether one has to approach a guru to be instructed in devotional service for spiritual advancement. The answer is given here. Indeed, not only here, but also in the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna accepted Krishna as his guru. Shishashtate hang siddhi mang twang prapanam. The Vedas also instruct, tad vignartam sadguru eva vigachit. One must accept a guru for proper direction if one is seriously inclined toward advancement in spiritual life. The Lord says that one must worship the Acharya, who is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Acharya mang vijanayat. One should definitely understand this. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that the Guru is the manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, according to all the evidence given by the Shastras and by the practical behavior of devotees, one must accept a Guru. Aditi accepted her husband as her guru so that he may direct her how to advance in spiritual consciousness, devotional service, by worshiping the Supreme Lord. Om Jnana-timiranda Shaganajana Shalakaya Chakshurun Minitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So the same principle comes up again and again and again and again in our philosophy. One must accept Guru. And why must we accept Guru? Someone might think, oh, I'm very intelligent. I can figure out everything on my own. I knew more than my teachers in school. I was so more intelligent than them. And in some rare cases, that there may be some truth to that. But as far as understanding spiritual life, it does not work. Because we are until we become fully Krishna conscious, we are still conditioned souls. And conditioned souls have 4 defects. What are those 4 defects? Anyone? We tend to make mistakes. Imperfect senses. We fall into illusion. And what's the last one? Cheating. Yeah, cheating propensity. So we have these 4 defects. So if we have a tendency to fall into illusion, which starts with thinking that I am this material body. So we have a tendency to fall into illusion. Then how are we going to figure out perfect knowledge if we're in illusion? And we have imperfect senses. We cannot even, if we're in a dark room, and even if you put your hand this far from your eyes, you cannot see your hand. So what to speak of understanding anything perfectly, understanding anything perfectly based on what we can directly perceive. If our senses are not perfect, then how can we conclude anything based on what we directly perceive? And we have a tendency to cheat. So if we're trying to get perfect knowledge from some imperfect person, then if that person is not a devotee in disciplic succession, then we may be given knowledge which is not perfect. And if we try to give that knowledge to someone else, we also have a tendency to cheat. So therefore, one must hear from someone who has perfect knowledge. And that means learning from Guru, from the Acharya. But Acharya is not just a word; it's a qualification. There are 3 points. What makes one an Acharya? Yes, he gets knowledge through the disciplic succession, which starts with Krishna. He teaches the same knowledge, that perfect knowledge, and one more. Yes, many times I've mentioned. Okay, he gets perfect knowledge through the disciplic succession. He speaks that perfect knowledge that he got through the disciplic succession, and he shows by his personal example how to live that knowledge that he got. So if one wants to get perfect knowledge, then he has to get it from the spiritual master who is getting that knowledge from the perfect source. And it's said that the spiritual master is, you say, is to be respected as good as God. So we may think, oh, the spiritual master is just another person just like me. How is he as good as God? Actually, in the early days of ISKCON, I think even a few years before I joined, Srila Prabhupada had just done his first initiations, initiated the first. And then he posted on the kitchen door at that particular place where they had their temple. He posted a letter that says that everyone who has been duly initiated by his spiritual master, he needs to every day chant minimum 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra. And he needs to follow, abstain from these four activities: eating meat, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. He also said that you need to come to Mangal Arati and some other basic points that Srila Prabhupada always preached on. Jai Shri Gaurnitai, Shri Radha Braja Bihari Jagannath, Paula Lady Subhadra and Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. And then one of the devotees, early initiated devotees, asked Srila Prabhupada, how should we see you, Srila Prabhupada? And he said, you should see me as good as God, or you should see me like God, I think so. So of course that confused everyone because Srila Prabhupada was very much preaching spiritual master never claims to be God. And so, of course, Srila Prabhupada, that was his opportunity, he explained. Spiritual master is not God, and he never claims to be God. But he needs to be respected in the same way that you would respect God. And he said just like the ambassador to the president of the country. He's the ambassador goes to another country on behalf of the president of his country, and it's expected that he will be treated as good as they would treat the president directly, because he is representing the so the position of spiritual master is like that. And how is the spiritual master? You say you treat as good as God. So how in this sense is the spiritual master as good as God in this sense here? How? Because he's teaching the same words that God teaches, and he is showing by his personal example how to live what he is teaching. How he, as they say, practice what you preach. The spiritual master is practicing what he preaches. So the words and the instruction, the words and the guidance of Krishna is appearing through the activities and the words of the spiritual master. Krishna speaks something, spiritual master speaks the same thing. And Krishna says you act in such and such way to practice Krishna consciousness. And the spiritual master acts in that way as an example to teach. And if one follows the instructions and guidance of such spiritual master, then he will become Krishna conscious. So yes. As good as God, like the ambassador to the president. How do you respect the spiritual master as good as God? You give him but if the spiritual master gives instruction, you follow the instruction. Just as in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna was acting directly as spiritual master for Arjuna. Arjuna accepted him as his spiritual master. And because he accepted Krishna as his spiritual master, whatever conclusions Krishna said, this is how you should act, Arjuna. He said, I accept everything that you tell me. I will do as you say. And by doing that, Arjuna's illusion was destroyed. And of course, we all have come from whatever point in life we came from, we've taken up the path of Krishna consciousness. And because so certainly before, I can say for myself, I had many confusions in life. And by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and actually following the process, then the difficulties, the illusions became cleaned away. The problems, the illusions in life, we cannot figure it out on our own. Or sometimes someone might attempt to. Sometimes someone may attempt to. May try. Someone may try to figure things out on their own. Just like in Vedic culture, just like Bhagavad Gita says, which says out of many thousands among men, hardly one endeavors for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So that hardly one who endeavors for perfection means karmis. Karma is not a bad word. It just means the one whose goal in life is material enjoyment. And in the say Vedic culture, that meant you're following still religious principles like worshiping demigods and so on. And then one gradually makes very, very gradual but spiritual advancement, makes a little bit of advancement. Because the worship of the demigods also includes the worship of Vishnu. So in due course of time, the karmis gradually become start realizing this material enjoyment is not going to satisfy me. And then they start thinking, okay, I don't want all this material enjoyment, but they start thinking, speculating, trying to figure out with their brain what is higher, what's perfection. But in all probability, if they try to figure it out on their own, they will not come to the full proper conclusion. So the jnanis, they're thinking, I have material body and I'm suffering, so therefore perfection. Therefore, if I have a material body, therefore I'm suffering. So therefore, perfection means no material body. They think I've had many relationships that are usually end up being bad. Therefore, perfection means that there are no relationships with anyone. They think that I suffer because of birth, death, disease, old age. So therefore, perfection means that there's a soul, but there's no body. So they come to these conclusions, but their conclusion is impersonal. So that's why Krishna says, out of many thousands of men, hardly one endeavors for perfection, karmis. And of those who endeavor for perfection, means jnanis, hardly one knows me in truth. And that knowing Krishna in truth means becoming devotee of Krishna and accepting spiritual master and so on. And so this is so in this chapter we're in, at this point, Aditi is asking her husband, Kashyapa Muni, to act as her spiritual master and teach her about devotional service. Anyway, any questions? Please. Anyone? Yes. Oh, well. Okay. The snake. One of Balaram's expansions is the Nantashesha. So snake. Yeah, I mean, he didn't. When he was appearing in Vrindavan, there was no one saw a snake head there. But in some reason. Other questions? Remember your question? Microphone?
Is there a question like this, why the intentions they're blowing like not on outside but over the behind outside? The intention they're usually blowing outside.
Yeah. Why do we blow the conch shell outside? Because the conch shell is in a sense it's dirty because we're putting the mouth on it. So we don't normally bring something that we're putting our mouth on inside the altar. Anyone else? No. I'm saying we don't read anything about Lord Balaram having a snake in his appearance. It's not. I'm saying it does not appear there. does not appear like that when he appears in a human-like form. But he is, for some reason, I wasn't there. I didn't make the original forms of Jagannath Balaram Subhadra like here. So I don't know the exact thinking behind it, but that's the only relationship I know between the snake form and Lord Balaram. No.
Я как-то делал, я до конца что-то не понял. When you talk this because I little bit confused. Cannot explain. Can you step by step explain?
Explain what now? Yeah, there's a form of an expansion of the Lord that is a Anantashesha. Actually, there's two forms like that. There's one that Garbhodaksha Vishnu is sitting on in the Garbhodak ocean. In every universe, there's in every universe there's an expansion of Vishnu called Garbhodaksha Vishnu. You know? And he is lying down on the on a big snake. So this snake is a form of this Anantashesha or Sheshanaga. And also the universes themselves are being held up by a very big form like that. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine. Yeah.
When I first time about snake, what is something like
yeah, this particular snake happens to be a servant of Krishna. In fact, Anantashesha, who has not just one head, but thousands of heads. And he's constantly glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead with all those heads, constantly glorifying the Lord. He's speaking. Does Krishna understand? Of course. So, but yeah. But it just shows that Krishna is so great. Krishna has so many wonderful qualities. And here's this form of this big snake with thousands of heads, and every head he's speaking, every mouth he's speaking different glorifications of the Lord, and he never comes to the end of the glorifications. You can imagine how great Krishna is. We can't imagine, but that gives an idea. And all those forms, Krishna expands as Balaram, and there are many expansions described in Srimad-bhagavatam, and one of those expansions is this form, the snake form. I'd like to go on, but we're supposed to end by 8:30. So we'll end here for now. Tomorrow we read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.